All right. Things. This is him now. Okay, let's bring him back.
All right, that's a little better, man.
Adam, are you there?
I'm so sorry,
Yeah. How you
man.
doing?
My laptop just acting crazy today. I'm sorry,
Oh, it's quite all right. Good, great to have you back. How you doing?
man. I today has been
How's
a
it
pretty
going?
awesome day, man. It's I've been doing good. Been doing real good.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So, I mean, what's been going on since the last time you were on the show? I mean, I know you've got a lot going on.
Yeah, who's the champ has just been going crazy with Major League Wrestling now settling here in Charleston. Man, it's just been going nonstop. Have sat down with Killer Cross, Matt Riddle. It's just blowing up. I mean, we're about to celebrate a year in July, August. Right, I launched my first show on Hogan's passing, so we're about to celebrate a year here coming soon. And I mean, it's just been a whirlwind, absolute whirlwind.
It sounds like it. Oh man, I mean, it's great that MLW it's made its way in South Carolina and doing their thing. I mean, like like you mentioned, there's some top tier talent involved, and with Killer Cross and Matt Riddle and all the stars of MLW. I mean, what's it like to be engaging with the MLW?
You would think by now, me being, I'm about to celebrate, coming up, we're about to celebrate 10 years of Battleground Championship Wrestling. So I've been in the wrestling business for some way, shape, or form 15 years. And I hate to use the word mark, but I get so excited. I'm still a groupie when I talk to these people. I get so excited, and it's just like the little kid comes out of me, and it's just amazing, especially to hear people's you know their journey in the business. That's one of the things that I love sitting down with you or with Tank. I just love hearing road stories. I love to hear what people have gone through, and that's exactly what Who's the Champ brings out. I originally wanted to focus on local independent wrestlers, and then it just sprung into something else. And then, man, it's just absolutely exciting, and I just love getting people's stories out there because everyone is different. Everyone's story is different. Everyone's journey is absolutely different, and I'm loving it so far.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Speaking of who's the champ, I mean, so far, who's been some of your uh, favorite interviews thus far on the show that you can recall?
You, for one, um,
Oh,
you
thank you so much.
you were like, I told you when I first launched the show that you were the first one that I wanted to sit down with, and a simple you were my first hour long show because we just could not stop talking. um, but if I'm going to give you my top three, of course you being one of them. Sitting down, I did an hour long with Court Bauer on the rise of MLW, and I'm going to mention a name that you are very well. I talked about marking out or being a groupie for the opportunity to interview Arn Anderson. I
Okay.
absolutely, oh man, I just lost it. And the reason that interview is so special to me is because there's a few things that the fans who watched the show after I edited the interviews that I did not allow. There was something very personal that I got to do. And Arn was just so open and just so engaging. It is exactly what you knew Arn Anderson would be. And I did my research, and I brought up the Mr. Olympia character, and his eyes got wide. He was like, "Oh my goodness, this young man knows exactly, what he's talking about." I got it wrong a little bit, but I said I've been in the business and I wrestled, and my first match was um, refereed by my father. And of course, that's just a little anecdote. Well, I get done with the conversation, and he goes, "So how did the match end with, you know, your father being there?" And I was like, "Oh, well, I lost." He was making fun of me. It was a last man standing, and he was saying, "Get up, you're embarrassing me. You're embarrassing me," like a father would do, just joking with me. And I said, "But he was so proud." He said, "Oh, I bet he was proud." He goes, "Hell, I'm proud of you." And I'm just like, and like my heart just sank. I was just like, Arn Anderson just told me he's proud of me. I was like, "Can I call you Uncle Arn, please?" But,
Yeah.
one of the things I wanted to do was when I went to the wrestling event that he was going to be at, he was in the corner of his son, Brock. I said, "Sir, if I could get the chance, I would love to get a picture of me, my father, you, and Brock, so I could always say, the fathers and the next generation. My father always wanted to be in the business. I carried his dream on to doing what I'm doing." So he goes, "Absolutely." Well, the day of the event comes, I'm doing media coverage, and I'm just going nonstop. So Arn had a special table. Everybody was bothering him. And you know how it is when, it's a meet and greet, like so many people are coming up to you. And by the time it's done, you're just drained. So
Mhm.
I was like, I didn't get the chance to talk to him, but I was like, at his table, I said, "I got to say something." He's walking by, and I go, "Mr. Anderson." He turns around. I go, "Sir, I'm Adam Helms. We talked earlier this week." And without a beat, he goes, "Where's your dad?" And I go, "Oh, he's right here." He hits my dad in the belly, and he goes, "You got a good kid right there," and walks off. And my father goes, "I don't need a picture." And that'll be one memory that I can't think enough. He didn't have to do that, but it just meant the world to me. And we went later on that night just to watch some great wrestling. But yeah, besides you, Arn is my favorite so far. Yeah.
That's great. That's great. His son Brock, I can't get over how much he favors his dad so much.
That's one of the things that I said in the interview. As like, I grew up always wanting to be Ric Flair. I used to say that my father would say my first words were, "I'm a limousine riding, jet flying, kiss the wheeling dealing son of a gun," and I would say, "Can't hold these gators down." I didn't know what gators were. I'm walking around in my little flip flops calling them gators.
Yeah.
I said, but unfortunately, I got the Anderson hairline. And he just started dying laughing. He was just like, he's like, someone's never told him that before. It's like, because you could tell, the hairline's running away from me. But, it's just, it was so much. I'll tell you another great one that I had that I didn't know how it was going to turn out. I sat down with Miranda Gordy, Bam Bam
Oh, okay.
Gordy's daughter. Oh man, she was an
Oh, nice
absolute treat.
lady.
Oh,
Nice
she
lady.
was such a treat. Such a treat. And like, some of the young guys that, have come through South Carolina and been able to sit in the studio with me, it's just, I get lost in the moment, just promoting different events, sitting next to Bishop Dyer, better known as Baron Corbin. And at 9 o'clock in the morning, he's talking about the beef sandwich, a Cuban sandwich he had the night before. And I'm sitting there going like, "Dude, it's 9 o'clock in the morning. I'm hungry now." But oh man, it's just absolutely great, and it just the connections that I've made are absolutely wonderful. Now I do have some people that I'm waiting to get on, and I'll have to get the mute button. I'm planning on here in the next couple of weeks to get a good friend of ours, LA Tank, on the air. I'm gonna have to hit that censor button a few times, but
Yeah.
that's my next one that I'm really won't. And I'm still fighting for like any big name that I can get. Not even big names. Anyone that has a story to tell. Like because it's so different, so different.
Absolutely. Oh, please let me know how the one with Tank goes. Oh man, I'm dying to find out that interview
And
goes.
And just like I said,
I miss Tank so much.
well, some of the nights that we've all just sat around and ate dinner, I just wish I had a camera and a microphone sitting between all of us. Heck, the night right before because we're about in a couple weeks here, it'll be 3, maybe 5 years since we inducted y'all into the Hall of Fame. The
Oh
night
wow.
that you remember we were all just sitting around talking, and you took Dorothy to that little group of kids just sitting on the bench and everything.
Yeah.
The things that the three of us get together that we do, it's just like, that's following wrestlers around. Forget Total Divas. You just get a camera crew out there, unedited. That's TV right there. Vice TV needs to get on that. Just follow independent wrestlers around to see what they actually do when the media is not watching.
Such good times. It really is. Oh man. I think the dinners are just as, if not more fun than the actual events.
You remember the Kid and Play?
Yes, yes. Oh, that was great.
Absolutely missing that, man. Missing that, man. Just the camaraderie of, yeah, you have a
And it
great
was just
show.
out of the blue too. I mean, it was.
It was. It's like we look up and you and Adam are just hooking at the feet, and we're just like, okay, we're gonna go at it. We're just gonna let you and Happy Hour just go.
Oh man, that was awesome. Those great times.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Oh man.
How's everything been going with you?
Well, I've been working really hard trying to get back to good health. It's been a long journey, but I'm a lot of praying, and I got some good doctors helping me out as well.
Absolutely.
So I mean, I've even though I got a ways to go, I've come a long way from what I was. So it just it took me because I've been through so much the past few years. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it was just to the point where my whole life I felt like it ended to where I'm at now. I mean, so I'm very blessed and grateful to be here.
Absolutely, amen
So
on that.
I mean,
Amen.
it's every day's a blessing. It really is.
Oh, absolutely. I could just tell from our last conversation, the color and the you could see the glow on you now, and that's great to see.
Yeah, yeah. I just a lot of what happened with me was just out of the blue, beyond my control, and I wasn't ready for all the things. It felt like my whole foundation was falling apart at the time, um, and being near death quite a few times, and all that hitting you like an avalanche. It definitely I mean did its number, but at the same time, I feel like I came out of it a better person. So
Absolutely.
so
Absolutely.
so I'm still kicking out, right? As they
There you
say.
go. Hey, as long as you kick out before 3, absolutely.
Yeah,
You're not even at 2.5. You just hit 2, so you're good. You're good.
yeah.
We're we're getting there.
I,
No tapping out at
I'm
all.
I'm making Ricky Morton and Ricky Steamboat proud. All the kickouts I'm doing.
Absolutely.
All the
Oh man,
solo kickouts.
have you seen what Ricky's been doing with his new school?
Um, I've I get a little some of those like updates in my feed every now
Yeah,
and
that's
then.
the way I've been seeing it.
Anything particular he's doing now?
No, well, he did a stint at the Performance Center, and now he's like the School of
Okay,
Morton's
I
done.
saw.
Yeah, the School of Morton's done, but he opened up a new one. I forgot what the name of it. It just slips on mine right now. But yeah, I saw some videos of him training people, and just yeah, it's one of the questions that I like to ask on my show is the difference of breaking into the business is so much different now, where it's so you can go to any wrestling school now, but during the times you were breaking in, and like there was not many schools, of like it was very hush hush. What was the and for some reason every time I go on your show it's like I'm taking over. I don't mean to. I just love hearing about this. What was your transition into wrestling? I mean, did you was it hard for you to find a school, or what was going on?
Well, there was, if you will, and a place,
Mhm.
and it was very close knit to where they wouldn't let us anybody in the business. That's why the tryouts back then were so hard. They
Right.
would make it hard on purpose and to see how bad you would want to be in the business because during that time a lot of the boys and girls in the industry wanted, you know that was their livelihood. I mean, that was the way they make a living, and they didn't want this any Joe Smith or what have you
Mhm.
come in and set forth. So, but yeah, I mean, business has changed a lot from what those days were. So, I mean, the boys and girls now they've got so much opportunity now, much more.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So it's just a different thing, and you know, but that's why it was really close knit back then because I mean, that's how a lot of us made our living, and we didn't want anybody in our family, if you will, that didn't respect what we did and what hurt our business
Right.
as well. So, but yeah, nowadays, I mean, the guys and gals that are in the industry now, I mean, I'm really grateful for them to have the opportunities because I feel like us, our generation, set set the stage for them so they can have a better opportunities, right? And
Absolutely.
and more companies. So I mean, but we that's why veterans of the industry before
Mhm.
that that even had it even harder than I did. So but yeah, it was just it was a different time back then, and and now there's so much opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, it's just so. I mean, not saying it's so easy to get into the business now, but I mean, even watching wrestling now, it's so like there's just so much to watch. Um, yeah, it's sometimes even being a host and trying to keep up with everything. It's just, but there's just so much great. It'd be one thing if the product out there was really bad. It's like there's just so many good things to watch that you want to keep your eye on AEW. You want to keep your eye on WWE. MLW, AAA. It's just so much. But in your mind, what do you think the next big stars to hit everything. Like, we're about to see the juggernauts. Someone like Obafemi, with everything with WrestleMania. Who do you think are the next big ones coming up?
Oh well, I'm a big fan of Obafemi. I think. I mean, he's got money written all over him. You got guys like him, Trick Williams, Siobhan Evans, um,
Oh yeah.
and the ladies division. I mean, it's got so much talent
Hmm.
there. The women's division as well, and for both companies, AEW and WWE,
Oh, absolutely.
and so I mean, it, it's just I I I I think well I know that you could take a great talent, right,
Hmm.
and put them out there, but if they don't have the machine behind them to creatively direct them the right way, then it's
No,
the
I
company
totally agree with
the company puts these talents, push them forward, and give them exposure, give them the push they deserve, um, and not wait too long until you know the lightning's out of the bottle, if you will.
that. Hmm.
I mean, strike. You have to, in this business. You have to strike things while it's hot. And right now, a lot of these guys, a lot of names we just mentioned. I mean, it's their time, and you got to give them their time to shine. I mean that, and to just push them for all it's worth, push them to the moon and back.
Absolutely.
Because and the audience will let you know. The audience always lets you know.
Yeah.
And
Oh
if
yeah, they'll definitely let you know.
and that's that's one thing McMahon was very, McMahon listened to his audience. He listened to his audience, and any smart promoters um, in different territories that were successful, but they were successful because they listened
Yeah.
to
Oh,
they
I
drew money for them.
yeah, and there's a lot of people that they look like money on paper, and on film they look like that, but then they just they just don't succeed. Maybe it's a gimmick they're given, or and I think that's one of the things that's a lost art right now is people were given gimmicks and they had to believe it. I mean, if you met Matt Bourne, you never would have thought that he was Big Josh. I mean, being a clown, I could, the stories that I've heard, like especially how Matt Bourne got the Doink the character, is like, look, he's Hulk, I guess, in the locker room saw Matt Bourne just sitting there with a cigarette, and he's like, oh, he's our own Krusty the Clown. And ever since I heard that story, I looked at it and I go, he sure does look like Krusty the Clown. But like, what? I mean, you're given a gimmick, but I mean, just look at it. I know there's been different incarnations of Doink, but Matt Bourne will always be Doink, and you just have to believe the character on something can be the greatest thing in the world, but you have to make it. Like, there's a famous story of Terry Taylor and Kurt Hennig were both getting their names and gimmicks at the same time. And Terry Taylor originally was supposed to be, I guess, supposed to be Mr. Perfect. Well, that's just a name. You had to take a talent like Kurt Hennig to be Mr. Perfect. He will always be Mr. Perfect, even though a lot of people know him as Kurt Hennig in his time in AWA and everything like that. You have to take that gimmick, and Kurt Hennig was Mr. Perfect because, I mean, to me, he should have been a world champion multiple times, but we just never got it.
you know, uh, to for a wrestler to be successful, what's given to them, they have to believe in what they do, like you said, and they have to put a little bit of themselves into it as well. Because I mean, if you believe in what you do, then others are going to believe in what you do too. You know, it will just reciprocate,
Hmm.
and um, it's just, and you have give them the opportunity to do so, just like with promos, what they do in the ring, etc. You got give them a chance to develop their craft and polish themselves. Um, I mean, for example, I mean, look at Cross. I mean, man, I mean, he screams superstar all over. I mean, everything he does. And you know, you would think that, I mean, he'd be shooing for any company, right? But for some
Yeah.
reason, he wasn't. I don't feel he was given much of a chance to show what he could really do. Unfortunately, uh, but now he's look at him now. I mean, he's shining, doing his thing. You know, what may not work for one company will probably, you know, be a future success for another company, right? So I mean, it's all about finding yourself and finding the place where you're given the opportunity to shine and to believe in what you do and show your true potential.
Hmm. Absolutely. I mean, Cross is a great comparison. When I sat and talked with him and everything, I mean, and I'm not saying that wrestlers are stupid, but like some people see some of the gimmicks and everything, and a lot of people saw my interview with Cross, and they're just like, oh my God, he's so articulate, and the way that he spoke, and I'm just like this. I said I could have told you he was like this. It's like, you know, we're not all stupid. We take a lot of chair shots to the head, but I mean, we're not. We're articulate. We're smart. We're a lot of wrestlers are accomplished musicians. Like Juilliard trained. Like the thing is that you talked about living up to the gimmicks and putting a little piece of yourself in it. That's exactly what it is. John Moxley is John Moxley. You know, um, and it's just you take yourself and you just turn it up some. You know,
Dr. Tom Pritchard's got a degree in engineering.
really, I
Yeah,
never knew that.
I mean,
Never.
we come from all walks of life.
Hmm. I mean, point example. Even though he's a manager, Paul Bearer. Who would have ever? Who? Well, I mean, if you knew Percy, you would have known that he was, a mortician. But I mean, who? For me, growing up seeing Paul Bearer, I thought he was the scariest thing. Then when I found out that he was a real life mortician, that just made it even better. I mean, it's just putting that little dab in of you in there that absolutely does it. I guess when they gave, you presented the maestro, you being an accomplished pianist and everything, you put a little yourself in it.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, well, what happened was the office got wind of my theatrical background, and they kind of implemented it into the whole maestro thing, right? So
My only question with that is, did you get to keep any of the capes?
yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. Believe it or not, yeah. It was had I had quite the wardrobe at one time.
Oh man.
Oh yeah, and the seamstress was really very talented.
Hmm.
That made stuff for us. I mean, she makes really cool outfits. So and and what's cool that you can like come to her and give a little bit of your input into the design and everything. So yeah, it was pretty cool.
And I mean, it's like one of my favorite promos that you did. It keeps popping up. I think it might have been a Monday Night Nitro, but you and Mean Gene standing there. It was at the MGM Grand, and you were talking about how you taught Wayne Newton to dunk a shay.
Yeah.
I
Oh
love that.
yeah.
Vegas, you were made for Vegas.
Oh man, I knew I loved working with Gene so much. I mean, I knew whenever I had a segment where Gene was going to interview me, I knew it was going to be a good time because Gene was so much fun around. I used to hang out with him and Bobby Heenan
So jealous of that.
a lot, nonstop, man. Oh my god, yeah. But we had a lot of fun, and Gene's such a cool guy. He knows his rock and roll too.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Big
I've
rock
heard
fan.
stories. I've heard stories about that. Man, oh man. To me,
Yeah. So
Bobby Heenan will always be in my mind one of the greatest managers out there. Now there are some that aren't talked about a lot. Like we don't talk about Gary Hart enough, or Paul Jones that often anymore.
Oh, Paul Jones, man, he fantastic guy, man. I love Paul Jones. Paul Jones and Gary Hart. I loved Gary was cool too, man. Gary. I thought Gary was like one of the coolest managers. I mean, I could listen to Gary Hart read a grocery list. He had such a unique way of speaking, right? He was awesome.
I mean, one of the things we were talking about, a good friend of both of ours, LA Tank. LA Tank has been a great mentor to me. Um, ever since I did BCW, and I had a young man, you know him well, Jackson, who helped me out and everything. Been letting him take a little of the reins of BCW a little bit, and LA Tank told him, that you need to go do your research on Paul Jones. And I'm just like, oh man, I said that's the greatest thing ever. And he's like, who's Paul Jones? And I was like, next time I see you, I'm gonna punch you in the face. Who's Paul Jones?
Oh man, funny story. Funny Bobby Heenan, Gene Oakland story. I'll tell you real quick. I was having dinner with him one time, and Sherry Martel came to join us, say hello, right? At a hotel lounge, and had just got autograph from Hulk Hogan, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it was coming over our table, and I'm thinking he was going to Bobby Heenan first. And I'm thinking, oh boy, here we go, right? I'm thinking in my head, to myself. So he goes to ask Bobby for an autograph, and Bobby just looks at him and says, "Did Hogan sign that?" And he said, "Yeah." And Heenan's like, and then after he says it, Gene making out like the guy was trying to steal his watch and yelled, "Hey, my watch!" and, then he looked over my way I was sitting, and Sherry was next to me, right? And Sherry was growling at him. He got scared, ran off. Oh, it was so funny. Oh my gosh.
Well,
Those guys they were a riot to be around.
You speak of Sherry Martel. Growing up, I thought she was the scariest looking woman in the world. And then when I grew up, I was like, wow, she's a very beautiful woman. I was like, why was she such a scary Sherry growing up? Because I mean, that's what I knew her as. I knew her as Queen Sherry, and then her WCW days.
Oh
But
yeah,
she's
actually sweetheart,
tough.
man. Oh, she tough. Yeah, she's very tough. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess you had to be with the men around there. You know, she didn't
Yeah,
take
I
no.
mean, friend. I was happy I was a friend. But
Absolutely,
she was such a sweetheart. What a nice lady she was.
absolutely. You know, I
Yeah.
always said that Bobby was always the Don Rickle of wrestling. Always
Oh, oh
felt
God, hands down, hands down. Bobby should have had it. I mean, I know he did have his own show. I think Vince gave him his own show at one point.
hmm
I mean, he was just his comedic timing's impeccable. Oh my gosh.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah. I I remember the time there was one match that was commentating. Uh, I think it was him and Shivani was commentating a Hacksaw Jim Duggan match,
Oh
and
God.
and Tony said something about Hacksaw going to college, and Bobby like laughed throughout the whole match, just couldn't nonstop laughing about the college comment. And at the end of the match, at the end of the match, Bobby stopped laughing. I need to go have a beer.
He was just so good, and I know a lot of
But he
people on
just
the
laughed. He,
he's absolutely hilarious. You know, I and a lot of people talk about the commentary table now. You know, they always talk about Jim Ross and Jerry Lawler. Nothing against them, but like nothing will ever touch Bobby and Gorilla. And like Bobby could just go on a tangent, and then Gorilla would just go, "Will you stop?" And it's just like, and I would just send everyone off the edge. My favorite Bobby quote ever: SummerSlam 90, I think. It was the match made in heaven, the match made in hell, where it was the Triangle of Terror, you know, Sergeant Slaughter, Colonel Mustafa, and Admiral, whoever the third guy was, and against Hogan and Warrior. That was a match made in hell. But then the match made in heaven was the wedding of Randy and Elizabeth. And he said, "We're
mm,
going to the match made in hell." And Bobby goes, "The wedding's next?" And then you got just Piper on the other end going, "Wow."
Oh
I'm
man.
I'm sitting there and I'm just like, "Really, Bobby?" And I mean, even as a kid, I'm just laughing so hard. And then it's just like nothing will beat the commentary from, you know, the 80s and everything. It's just like kids today will never understand or appreciate Gordon Soley. You know, what a
Uh,
voice.
the true dean of sports commentary, Gordon
Oh,
Sullivan, man.
you know, that famous souffle. And I'm like, and I would, as a child, I would hear saying, "Yeah, we're having souffle tonight," and I'm like, "No, you're not doing that to me." You know, and it's just like Gordon was, he is the, besides Joey Styles, the only man that could do play by play through a match and keep you entertained all the way through. And as someone who's tried to do that by myself on independent shows, I I tip my hat to Gordon Soley. I know it took liquid courage with him, but still, I I commend him for doing that.
He was like the ultimate straight guy,
hmm
straight commentator.
Absolutely.
Oh man. I mean, there'll never be another Gordon.
Mm-mm. No, never.
Oh
And
man.
just his years of the territories and like, uh, you'll never, there'll never be another Gordon Soley. Never.
Mm. And yeah, I'd say I think that's one of the many things I miss about the old days was like even the commentators back then were just so on point.
hmm
You had Gordon Solis, we mentioned, Bob Caudle, uh,
Oh,
Lance Russell,
Lance, yes.
and I mean some of the best commentating you'll ever hear.
Absolutely. And even their commentary was on point because I don't even think back then there was. I really don't think the color commentator really wasn't presented until you got what Jesse Ventura and Bobby Heenan. That's when the first color commentators really came about because even during the early days of the WWF, you had Vince and you had Bruno or Lord Alfred Hayes.
Right, Alfred Hayes.
Oh, that's another voice that will never be, you know, redone. It's like hearing Lord Alfred Hayes call a match. It just had a different feel to it. And I think that's what commentary is just missing now. It's like everything just seems the same, and they don't switch them up.
And
And I think that's one thing they did.
before he got to be commentating, he was such a good heel. Lord Alfred Hayes was.
I heard that.
He was such a great heel. Oh my gosh. He kind of did what Regal did back. When he was getting his push. He was like real the arrogant, obnoxious aristocrat, right? You know what I mean? And oh, he was great. And then when he transitioned to being a commentator later on, gosh, turned out to be one of the best.
Absolutely, he absolutely was. Ah, man, there's just so many voices that these young fans will never get to experience again. Or nothing against Tony right now, but like Tony Schiavone when him and David Crockett all together. I mean, just just voices that we will never hear again. Even Jim Cornette on the commentary table was just they
Oh,
people just won't understand. They just won't understand.
oh man, Jimmy was awesome. Oh my gosh. Uh, one funny story that Jimmy told one time was this was back in him and Shivani were doing the commentary for the World Championship Wrestling, Georgia Championship
Mhm.
Wrestling, right? And they're doing shooting promos to hype up the show, right? And doing one of the promos, coordinate Jimmy said, this show is gonna be so hot, be like the space shuttle catching fire. And and he said the cameras went from here and then would sank down to the ground. He said Dusty Rhodes killed the curtain, put this we can't be talking about no rocket ship blowing up on TV, baby. Oh man.
You know, speaking since we're talking about Cornette, um, I was
Jimmy was
when I did
great
my
though.
oh, absolutely. When I did my interview with Arn, we talked about the realism of a promo where you had to hook the people in, and we talked about that famous interview with Arn just going off on the Midnight Express, talking about Stan
Yeah.
Lane has chased women for so long, he's become one. And he brought Bobby Eaton, the girl, to the table, and we were talking about. He goes, absolutely. He got so many people in with that promo that, and that's another thing. It's like there's a difference of shooting. You know, I forgot who was saying it, but there's a difference between shooting and bringing people in with using real life situations. You know, who cares? Oh, well, your second kid is not yours, something along those lines. No one cares about that. But if you just put a little seed of doubt in someone's mind, because like for the longest time during that promo, I thought Bobby and Arn hated each other. You know, I always thought that Ric Flair and
Hmm.
Ricky Steamboat couldn't be in the same building, or if the Horsemen ever saw Dusty Rhodes outside, they were going to break his arm again. It's just so many different things, and I think the realism of what could actually happen to someone isn't there anymore. It's like, okay, they come to the ring, cut a promo in the middle of the ring, someone comes out to respond. That's just not there anymore. But if someone's hooked into the feeling, like sometimes you don't even need words. You know, when Triple H and Undertaker were going for their second match at WrestleMania, they met in the middle of the ring. They looked up at the sign, and that's all we needed to see. So I think all you need is a little doubt of realism, and a promo can go so far than actually shooting.
Right. Absolutely. I mean, and that's another thing. Like back in the day, we were really advocates on believability. All that, and I think somewhere along the way it got a little lost in translation, if you will. But I mean, believability is still important today. I mean, you got to have your audience believe in what you do, and in order to do that, you have to give them little doses, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just the small doses, but just enough for they to entice them into wanting more. And and when they want more, they'll buy tickets to see more, right? So I mean,
Right.
you always want to leave your audience wanting more, no matter what.
In my mind, going back to one of your promos that I've talked, like, anytime that I ever talk about you, there's one promo that you've actually done, and it was on the Independence. It was and me and you talked about it before. You were going to face Adam Pearce for the NWA Heavyweight Championship, and that promo that you cut on was so real and just got invested. And I'm gonna be honest with you, hearing that promo, even though I knew you personally, I was like, I'm behind him. I can't wait to see him beat Adam Pearce. And you were so close, and then it didn't happen. But that promo brought you in, and I think that's a lost art right now, because if anyone hadn't seen it, go back and watch it. And it's just you, old school. And I'm gonna say, you look in that promo. You looked with the hair. You looked old school, Dusty on that. The T-shirt, the hair just out. I thought I was looking at Dusty for a second, but you cut such a real promo that it felt like you literally were doing it from your heart, and no one wrote it. And I think that's another thing that's missing. Going into that, is that exactly what you were trying to accomplish?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, it's just like we alluded to earlier. You have to put a little bit of yourself in what you do, and in order to do that, you have to bring out uh, real life feelings, real life emotion and conviction in what you say. So in order to do that, you express it, through your promos and the way you carry yourself. So it's going back to that believability factor. You got to make yourself believable, not just to yourself but to your audience, and so they can identify with what you're trying to accomplish
Mm-hmm.
and make that connection with your audience, and so they can feed that vibe off of you, and you're letting them in your story, right? You get them front row seat into what's going on with whoever you're feuding with, or how you feel about a certain situation, etc. You always want to bring your audience close and have that connection.
And a good promo can get you anywhere, but if you don't have the ability in the ring to follow it up. I always called it a perfect dance. You have the greatest promo in the world, but if you have a stinker of a match, then nobody's going to want to watch it again. Or you can have the worst promo in the world, but nobody wants to watch the match, and the match can be, a 9 out of 10. So I think a promo and a match are a perfect dance. Mm. Have you had any matches like that before where wasn't the promo was the best, but the match wasn't, or vice versa? Oh, looks like we lost Papa Stroh, but nope, that looks like he's back. There we go.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, sorry.
But do you agree that a good match and a good promo are a perfect dance?
Uh, oh gosh. Um, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. It's so important. I mean, you you have express it through your words, express it through your actions in the ring. It all ties in. It's all part of your story.
Absolutely. It's a continuance of everything going through, and we've seen it all, firsthand, of like all different things. And it's such a great build up, and then it was just a letdown. Um, one of my favorite pay per views. Being from the South, I'm a huge WCW fan, but a pay per view that gets a lot of slack that I absolutely love is Starrcade '90. It's where the main event was Sting versus the Black Scorpion. It ended up being Ric Flair and everything. That, to me, that's an unsung pay per view on so many different levels.
Oh yeah, I mean, it had a nice build up to it too. The old Black Scorpion deal.
Hmm. Oh yeah, and I mean, you had the Pat O'Connor tag team tournament. Who wouldn't want to see
Oh
the
yeah.
Steiner brothers against Mr. Saito and the Great Muta?
Oh man, what a match. Oh man, and
I mean, you saw young
the Steiners were
Conan.
so hot then.
Oh yeah, absolutely, they were hot. And I mean, you got a card with Stan Hansen on it. Stan Hansen and Lex Luger in a bull rope match. I
Oh
mean,
man. man. I
Stan
love Stan
Hansen doesn't
Hansen.
get. Oh,
Yeah.
he does not get talked about a lot. You know, and if I said some of the things, even about if I said the same things that he said on TV about his current wife, well, about his wife, my current girlfriend or my ex-wife would have killed me. If I went on TV and I said, I got a fat wife at home, I'm like, I'm sitting here even as a teenager going, that wife's going to kill him when he gets home. He was something. He was something. Did you ever work with Stan at all?
Hello.
Hey,
So we're having technical difficulties here.
yeah.
um, so what all you got going on coming up, Adam? Anything you like to plug?
So yeah, oh, absolutely. I got a lot of things, but the big thing that I want to push, May 16th, BCW returns to its second home of the Coastal Center in Somerville, South Carolina, and man, we got a huge card on hand. A lot of young stars. Um, we just announced that Diverse Effect, the BCW Tag Team Champions, LA Tank and Big Mike Fox versus the War Dogs, Ryan Mantis and his partner. We got a crazy triple threat match where the winner becomes the number one contender for the BCW Palmetto State Championship. The event's called Revival. We're keeping the same philosophy of BCW, but this time we're honing more on the young talent, and we got a great locker room leader in LA Tank, and I just can't wait to see what's going to happen then.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, yeah. Please give everybody my best down their way, and I hope you guys have a great event down there.
Oh, absolutely.
Um, once again, for everyone that's watching, how can they get over you on social media and find out more about Who's the Champ show?
So I got a great one lined up this week. I'm actually sitting down with Tony Khan Monday, and I'm sitting down with the next day Bobby Lashley because AEW is coming to Charleston, so I get the chance to sit down and talk with them.
Nice.
Tony Khan might be a short interview, but Bobby is going to possibly doing a big show with me. So but you can find everything on Facebook. You can follow me on social, Adam Helms. You can also follow Who's the Champ on Facebook. Who's the Champ airs on the WCBD Plus app Saturday and Sundays. But the Monday after the show's aired, they're put on YouTube. You look up Who's the Champ. We have a very exclusive interview with BCW management Jackson Salam, and we talked about the beginning of BCW. It's only found on YouTube, and we talked about the May 16th event coming up. They also can find your interview as well, and also this weekend on Who's the Champ, I'm re-airing our show to correlate with me and you talking today. I'm re-airing the Pauper Stroh 1 and 2. Part 1 will be Saturday night, and part 2 will be Sunday night on the WCWD Plus app. You know, I said I was going to be on WCW Retro, and so I think the perfect show this weekend with mine and your sit down again.
Oh, thank you so much. And thank you for stopping by the show. I mean, come back anytime.
Absolutely, sir. Thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you so much, Adam. And thank you guys for tuning in. Except we're having Melody Koloff here next week as our special guest. And I'm looking forward to that as well. So you guys have a awesome rest of the week and weekend. God bless you all, and we'll see you all next week. Thank you, Adam.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, brother.
Voice of Choice Wrestling Nation. Heard